For decades across Europe, dozens of women were discovered dead under suspicious circumstances. Some were found in rivers, others in forests, abandoned buildings, or lying near highways. Many showed clear signs of violence. But in each of these cases, police hit the same devastating dead end. They couldn't even identify the victims. Without names, these women were buried anonymously, and their murders were left unsolved. Today, those forgotten women are part of one of the most ambitious international cold case efforts ever launched. It is known as Operation Identify Me. Interpol, working with police agencies across Belgium, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Italy, and Spain, has reopened 46 of these cases. The goal is simple but profound: to restore their names, uncover their stories, and perhaps bring their killers to justice. The challenge in these cases has always been that the victims were not reported missing locally. Many are believed to have been migrants, trafficked women, or people who lived on the margins of society. When their bodies were found, no one came forward to claim them. Without an identity, investigators were left with only fragments: the place they were found, the clothes they wore, and sometimes a single piece of jewelry. Their case files sat in boxes for decades, gathering dust. In 2023, something changed. Interpol decided to bring these cases back into the public eye. They launched Operation Identify Me with the mission to make the victims visible again. For the first time, police released detailed case files to the public. They published reconstructed images of the women's faces, photos of jewelry, clothing, and any other possessions that might spark recognition. These materials are now shared globally on Interpol's website with a plea: do you know who she is? The campaign began with 22 cases, but has since grown to 46. Each one represents a woman whose story ended violently, but whose identity remains a mystery. And each case has details that make it both heartbreaking and haunting. One such case is that of a woman found in Amsterdam in 1999. Her body was pulled from a canal. She had been brutally murdered, and investigators believe she may have been a victim of human trafficking. Someone brought into Europe under false promises, exploited, and then discarded. No name was ever attached to her body. She was laid to rest as an unknown female. Another case comes from Germany in 1991. In a forest near the border, police discovered the remains of a woman believed to be in her 30s. Forensic experts suggested she may have been from Eastern Europe, possibly trafficked across borders. Her face has now been reconstructed with modern techniques, showing a woman with dark hair, but even with this hauntingly detailed image, no one has stepped forward to claim her. Then there is the Belgian highway case from 1992. A woman was found near a roadway, murdered, and left without any identification. The only clues were the distinctive pieces of jewelry she wore, a handmade ring and necklace. Investigators hope that someone, somewhere, might recognize these items. For more than 30 years they have sat in police evidence lockers, but today they are visible online, viewed by people across the world. These are just 3 examples, but all 46 cases tell a similar story. Each woman was silenced twice, once by her death and again by anonymity. What makes Operation Identify Me powerful is that it doesn't just rely on publicity, it is backed by the latest science. Forensic technology has advanced dramatically since the 1980s and 1990s, when many of these women were first found. DNA profiling can now pull genetic material from evidence thought useless decades ago. Even tiny, degraded samples can be tested and linked to potential relatives through international genealogical databases. Facial reconstruction has become so advanced that 3-dimensional models can recreate lifelike images of the women. Some of the reconstructions are so realistic, they could pass as photographs. Isotope analysis of bones and teeth allows scientists to trace where someone grew up, what kind of water they drank, and even the regions they may have lived in before their deaths. For families who may still be searching for a missing daughter, sister, or mother, these techniques could provide long-awaited answers. Imagine someone seeing a familiar necklace online, or recognizing the face of a woman they once knew, and finally connecting decades of mystery. That is the hope driving this campaign. But beyond the science, the project touches on something deeply human. These were not just nameless victims. Each of these women had a life. They had hopes, dreams, people they loved. Many likely left home searching for opportunity or safety, only to fall into the hands of traffickers, abusers, or violent criminals. They were stripped of their identities in life and in death. Operation Identify Me is a call to restore their dignity. Interpol has made it clear the public has a role to play. By sharing the reconstructed images, jewelry photos, and case details, anyone, anywhere in the world could hold the missing piece of information that finally cracks one of these cases. A memory, a missing persons report, a recognition of an object. Even the smallest tip could bring closure to families who have been waiting decades for answers. It is easy to think of cold cases as unsolvable, but history shows otherwise. With persistence, technology, and public awareness, even crimes that are 50 years old can be solved. Operation Identify Me is proof of this determination. It is an effort to remind us that no one should vanish without a trace, and no murder should be forgotten simply because time has passed. The women at the heart of this campaign are no longer invisible. Their images, their stories, and their belongings are circulating globally, reaching millions of eyes. And with each share, with each conversation, the chance of identifying them grows. Operation Identify Me is more than an investigation. It is a fight against silence, against forgetting, and against the idea that some lives do not matter. These women mattered. They still matter. And until each of them has a name, their stories will continue to echo across Europe and beyond.